Hey everybody, this is the Esoteric Cross. I make videos about how to gain your personal power while learning ancient secrets, and if that sounds like something that you're into, please hit the like button and subscribe and gain insight from this perspective in the cosmos. In this video, we're going to discuss the power of your thoughts, unleash the true power of your mind, and learn how the thoughts in your head can shape your entire reality, and how cultivating positive thinking can help you live your best life. On this channel, we mostly talk about esoteric knowledge as it pertains to ceremonial magic, the occult, astrotheology, tarot, and Qabalah. But in this video, I wanted to focus in a bit further on the conscious mind and the mental layer of consciousness. The conscious mind is one place where we can really discover our true power. This is because this is the place where we can make big decisions, change our mind, and therefore change our direction. We have important realizations here. The subconscious mind is obviously important as it is programmed by the conscious mind, but the thing is that we don't have a huge amount of control over it. The conscious mind is what we do have control over. In this video, we're going to discuss the impact of thoughts, positivity and negativity, and even the law of attraction. Our thoughts shape our beliefs, perspectives, attitudes, and ultimately our actions. They absolutely influence the way that we perceive ourselves, others, and the world around us. Negative thoughts can often lead to feelings of helplessness, hopelessness, and low self-esteem, which in turn can lead to behaviors that reinforce those negative thoughts. Thoughts are obviously something that starts a cycle. On the other hand, positive thoughts can foster a sense of self-efficacy, optimism, and resilience, which can lead to healthier behaviors and attitudes. This impact of our thoughts on our life and well-being can be profound. I have said before that the situations we find ourselves in and our environment has a direct correlation to our state of consciousness. This is something that a lot of people don't want to hear, and many people do not want to accept. Your entire life is within you. Your thoughts shape the world that you live in, within your consciousness. Really think about this for a second. Your life is not outside of you. Your consciousness is localized in your body, in your aura. You have no clue what other people think about you, what they think about the world, or what they're doing unless they tell you or demonstrate these thoughts through actions. And even then, you still don't know to the full extent of their thoughts because you're not them, and you do not experience their lives. You don't even know who they truly are on that level. Your life and consciousness is really localized to you. When things happen in life that are difficult or if people treat us wrongly, then it is on us to assign meanings to these events and respond. Either way, these meanings, their significance, and the response, it all happens within us. Nothing has ever happened to you. You have just made it mean something within your consciousness. You have the power to change what things mean to you. You have the power to change the feelings, your identity, and ultimately your actions and results. This is incredible news. You are responsible for your feelings. No one is responsible for your feelings. It's no one else's job to regulate your feelings, to regulate your nervous system. The power is within you. It's one thing to hear this or think this through on an intellectual level, but it's a completely different thing to have this powerful realization and then work with it. Things radically change and very quickly. Before getting into the power of the positive thoughts, I want to focus a second on a coping mechanism that we all need to learn. We can call this the let them theory. And I think Mel Robbins talks about this. She's a motivational speaker who is really into the science-backed topics within the realm of behavioral changes. There are many people who talk about this theory, but she is someone who has more notably popularized it very recently. But this is not a new idea. It really boils down to acceptance and releasing control. For example, let's say you have this friend who you used to talk to every single day, and they start to respond less to your text messages. Sometimes they'll go a week without texting you, even if you try to check in with them every couple days. They stop coming to events and outings with your friend group, and this is something that might hurt your feelings because you are pretty close with them. Let them. Let them stop responding. Let them not show up. Let them do what they do. Let's say you go on a few dates with someone, and they kind of ghost you. Let them. Let them miss out on you. Maybe you feel like someone in your life is extremely immature and won't grow up. Let them. Of course, this is within reason. If someone is trying to harm themselves or someone else, that's a different story. But this let them theory, or really coming to a place of acceptance, is a powerful way of taking our energy back, instead of expending it all on trying to control things that are out of our control. Let it go. Focus on where the true power lies. This power can be used to focus on positive thinking. This can really greatly improve the way that we feel about our situations in life. We have the power to improve our mental and physical health by reducing stress and anxiety, We can increase our resilience by doing this. I have some direct experience with this because in the past, I didn't really consider myself to be resilient. It was definitely a process, but I would write down the things that I had done in the last couple years that I was very proud of, big achievements for me. And I would review this list, and each time I conquered something big, I would add it to the list. This wasn't just about things that I accomplished, but also big hurdles that I overcame. I realized that I had the power to make challenges seem smaller within my psyche. This was something that kind of tricked me into having more energy and endurance to overcome obstacles when life gave me more than my fair share of them. Obstacles are things that can really weigh us down, and it's up to us to choose how we look at them. If we see these obstacles as really large, overwhelming, and scary, then they will take up much more of our energy as we attempt to overcome them. An easy way to tackle this issue is to minimize each obstacle and focus on what can be done right now at this second. Don't worry about tomorrow, the next month, or the next year. Focus on today, or more importantly, what you can do right now. Focusing on the positives of each situation, no matter what it is, will help increase motivation and creativity. We open our minds up to possible solutions and the best possible outcomes versus dwelling on what could go wrong. By focusing on positive thinking, we program the subconscious mind to draw ourselves into more positive situations. It kind of works like this. We have a part of our brain called the reticular activating system. It acts as kind of like a filter for information that we're receiving. We are surrounded by so much stimuli, and our conscious mind doesn't completely register all of it. This filter picks out things that are particularly important to us. When we decide something is important or relevant to us, then this area of the brain will highlight this to us, and then we see it in a sea of stimuli. For example, you notice how you buy a certain car, and then you start to see that car everywhere. Or you learn a new word and suddenly everyone is using that word around you. Or even wanting to buy a certain product, you place the importance on it and now you see that product everywhere. This same thing can happen with positive thinking and rewiring the beliefs that we have about ourselves. And it works even particularly well when we provide evidence. So here's an example. Let's say that I have a belief that I'm not resilient. I think that I'm super soft, crumble under pressure, and that when hard things come into my life, I cave and can't handle anything. I want to be resilient, and I look up to resilient people, but I don't know how to get there. Well, I could just use this mantra over and over. I am resilient, I am strong, I am proactive, but that wouldn't necessarily be authentic if I don't believe it. So I need to reflect for a moment on this. In what ways have I been resilient? Let's say I overcame some financial struggles. Maybe I worked 2 jobs for a period of time. Maybe there's proof that I stayed disciplined. Or what about that day that I made a to-do list and completed it like it was nothing? Maybe someone gave me horrible news that would have devastated anyone else, but I accepted it and focused on the positives. These things are proof that I'm resilient. I could focus on these and kind of repeat them in my mind as if they are mantras, and this would be much more affirming. You can do this with things like finances, quitting habits, starting new habits, getting disciplined, things like weight loss, building muscle, or becoming less stressed. The list goes on. The idea is to start the shift of identity, and that's the key to changing habits and therefore changing your life. Let's say that you want to quit smoking and you've tried that before. There was even a time in your life that you didn't smoke. Make a list of the positives of a life without smoking. Find evidence that you're resilient and you can withstand the changes within your routine. Shift the identity by not saying, I'm trying to quit smoking. Instead say, I'm not a smoker. Look for evidence that you're not a smoker. Act as if. Maybe even find a role model and pretend that you are them. What you're doing is activating an aspect of yourself. The reason that you look up to this role model is because you see a part of yourself in them, and it may be an undeveloped aspect. Focus on it and develop it. Now, balancing positive thinking with being realistic is important for maintaining a healthy mindset. We don't want to self-gaslight. We can still acknowledge both the positives and negatives of a situation without focusing too hard on the negatives. This means being honest with yourself and not ignoring or denying negative aspects of a situation, but also not letting them take over your thoughts and your emotions. Another way to balance positive thinking with being realistic is to set achievable goals and focus on taking practical steps toward achieving them. I'm going to emphasize that the goal is not the most important thing. It is what you do right now and the state of consciousness that you're in at this moment. That's the most important thing. This can help prevent negative thoughts caused by unrealistic expectations and disappointment. It's honestly better to not have much expectations. Don't expect the worst, don't expect the best. Just accept what you are experiencing right here and now and work with it. Focus on the positives and the identity shift, and things will fall into place. If they don't, then just make some adjustments. I really like looking at this idea with a triangle. This is like the holy trinity of life: thoughts, feelings, and actions. Thinking a certain way leads to feeling a certain way, which in turn will affect our actions and reinforce our thoughts. This process creates beliefs about ourselves and the world, and this brings about results in our lives. It doesn't all start with thoughts. Sometimes we get a subconscious reaction to something that comes about in the form of a feeling, and then that feeling leads into the generation of thoughts, what we think that feeling means, and that starts a cycle. Feelings can generally be dealt with by not generating mental activity. We can observe the feeling in our body, watch it, and feel it. Feel it deeply. But don't make the feeling mean something. Don't analyze the feeling, just observe it. Actions, of course, are a super powerful and underrated part of this process, and especially when it comes to the realm of the law of attraction. Taking the right action is extremely important, and in some situations, especially emergencies, taking any action at all will suffice. Either way, it's not really a problem. If the action results in something that we would have wanted, then that's great. If the action results in something negative, then we have learned something. We collected data and are able to take this knowledge and put it into use. Either way, it's not a problem. I know that this video kind of veered off into some other topics that we normally don't get into on this channel, but I think that this was really something worth diving into. The power of your thoughts in directing the energy of the conscious mind can be represented very well by the Magician card in tarot. If studying tarot cards is interesting to you, then I encourage you to check out some of my other videos, or make sure to check out the link in the description below to see what courses I offer, like that course on tarot. It studies the relationship between the cards with a Kabbalistic tree of life, which is something that most courses in tarot don't offer. It also starts on Tuesday, so make sure to sign up now so you don't miss it. If you want to work one-on-one with me, I offer coaching as well. There are links in the description to this, as well as to where you can book a tarot reading with me. I also have the link in my Patreon if you're interested in some live streams. And hope there was something new that you were able to take away from this video. If so, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe for more content. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time.